Hey folks, so in an old video I made, I went through some of the history of how different people have put Legend of Zelda characters into paper computer games. But you know, since that video was made, more people have done that. More people have made more Zelda-based paper computer games and paper games. So I thought I'd make a quick video and show some of you today. So yeah, let's do this. So let's get started. Today we are talking about the Legend of Zelda paper computer games. So I'm not gonna go through the old games I went through in my past video again, because that video still exists. It is there. So I don't wanna like rehash too much of that, but I do wanna just briefly, you know, tip my hat to Kurt, who was the first one to bring Zelda into paper computer games. I went into more detail in his in my other video about his Zelda PCGs, but basically we have he introduced Link into the PCG universe in Malfoy the Mailbox spot, and then showed how Link is hanging on for dear life before a worm eats him, and that story continued in Tutorial Bot's past, where once again you go back to Link in the PCG universe and you have to try and save him, and both times it's hopeless. All of this led up to Kurt also creating the first full Zelda paper computer game. So these two other games are not full Zelda games. They are just kind of like regular PCGs that just have like Zelda sections in, or like have Link appear basically. But yeah, either way, kudos to Kurt for introducing Zelda into paper computer games, without whom this video would not be possible. So, in more recent years, The Legend of Zelda has returned to the world of paper computer games. Since our last video, more people have made more Zelda games. So let's take a look at some of those games and, you know, I don't know, see them. So the first game we're going to take a look at is this one. This is the Zelda Game Where You Do Stuff by JC Toons. Now, the Zelda Game Where You Do Stuff, it's a game that I played with JC Toons in the PCG Discord. For those not in the know, you can play games with other folks on the PCG Discord. It's a lot of fun, but yeah. So the Zelda Game Where You Do Stuff is a very original game. It's not directly based on any of the Zelda video games. It takes place, first of all, in this land which is called Ooga Booga Land. Ooga Booga Land is not part of Hyrule. It is a different country outside of Hyrule, which is where the normal Zelda games take place. And it is very Hyrule-like. It is very, very similar to Hyrule, but definitely not the same place. Now, we also see in this game that Link starts off in a cell. I think this is pretty much a tradition at this point. Like in Kurt's game, Zelda Game, you know, we saw Link starting in a cell, as well as in my game, Dark Triforce. I think by this point, like, it's unintentional, but I think at this point it's basically just a tradition for Link to always start in a cell in a Zelda paper computer game. Also in this game, we have the looming threat of the moon from Majora's Mask. So just like in Zelda Majora's Mask, there's a moon with an angry face who's falling on the land. And, you know, you have to complete your quest quickly, or else he is going to obliterate the land. So that provides certainly an element of, you know, tension to the game. This game includes a lot of references both to paper computer games and the PCG universe, as well as to Zelda as well. So in terms of PCG references, we included Bob Ross Zuvak. That was from a PCG roundabout we did on YouTube around the time this game was made. We also have references to Zelda. Sorry, Link, I don't give credit. Come back when you're a little richer. That's a reference to the Zelda CDI games. You've probably heard of them. They're like memed to death on the internet. But yeah, like those are some of the classic sort of official Zelda games that Nintendo does not really approve of, but sort of legally has to. But classic stuff. This next Zelda game we've got is called Dark Triforce Bleed. It is by me. Now this is not a long game by any means. This is one of my PCG minis. So, this one is a sequel to like Dark Triforce, which is a paper computer game. You know, it's another Zelda game. Like that one was supposed to be a full Zelda game that I showed in the last Zelda video I did. This one is sort of like a mini sequel to that. It's not really a full sequel, I just wanted it to be connected to Dark Triforce. But this one is also part of my PCG Minis series, which has this theme of the weird oil. So you can see the weird oil here on the cover. It's sort of leaking out of the Triforce and into the Dark Triforce. So that kind of connects nicely with the title of the series, Dark Triforce. But really, it is like the weird oil comes from the PCG Mini series, and it's sort of a mystery. We don't really know what it is, but in each one of these games in the PCG Minis, like characters keep like encountering weird oil. This weird, like, kind of looks like engine oil, but like no one knows what it is. It's sort of like glooping all over everything. Kind of a weird, creepy thing going on. So this game is it takes place in an area called the Old Hollow, which is a new part of Hyrule we've not seen before in any of the Zelda games. This is the first paper computer game in which you play as Navi. Navi, the fairy, is from the video game Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is her second appearance in a paper computer game, but it's the first one where you actually play as her. So yeah. You play as Navi the fairy, and you're going back to the Old Hollow, which is a place where all the fairies meet, and there you see that the weird oil is taking over everything, and your friend Grendel the fairy is being sucked into the oil. So yeah, this game does include a bunch of different PCG cameos. It has Tutorial Bot. It also has Fig. This is mainly like... Those aren't in there mainly to be cameos. They're there basically as part of the story because that's to connect it to the other games in the series, because like these other characters are tied into what's going on with this weird oil. We also have a non-PCG cameo, which is Pikachu, or in the form of Weird Pikachu. The Weird Pikachu is a character who's been in all of these PCG minis. We don't know what his deal is. He just kind of stares at you. It's kind of creepy. And this game also introduces one new character, which is Grendel the Fairy, Navi's friend. She's never been in any Zelda game or anything, so this is a new character introduced by this paper computer game. So that's all we have for Dark Triforce Bleed. It's kind of a short game. After that, I'd like to point out this one over here, Paper Legend of Zelda by Krillin, formerly known as JPGS. So Paper Legend of Zelda is a paper game. It's unlike a PCG. It's the Paper Legend of Zelda, the concept of it comes from the Paper Pokemon series. So it is, so it's based on the Paper Pokemon series. It's basically the same concept, but for Zelda instead of for Pokemon. The Paper Pokemon games are basically like it's actually uses the actual images from the actual game. So it actually like copies the sprite of an area, for example, in one of the Pokemon games, and then you use that as like a paper game, and you just like print that. So it does, as you can see here, it's using actual sprites from the Zelda games. It is inspired by Detuned Paper because Detuned Paper is the one who started the Paper Pokemon series, and this aesthetic of, you know, like a graphic with like just white in the background, like that's very Detuned Paper right there. This reuses areas and sprites from Zelda: Link to the Past. And it does not have any new characters or cameos from PCGs or Zelda, because basically all of the people who are in and areas that are appearing are from past Zelda games, mainly from Link to the Past, a little bit from other games. This one I believe is from Minish Cap, this sprite right over here. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Paper Legend of Zelda. Next up, we've got The Legend of Zelda Dark Rift by the Sonic activist, also known as Golden Onion. The Legend of Zelda Dark Rift is a PCG that he released for his PCG consoles, the PCG Cosmo, as well as ePCG. ePCG is basically just like, you know, playing a PCG on a computer screen, basically. But yeah, this game, The Legend of Zelda Dark Rift, it's a short, simple game. It has only a few screens, like 3 screens, I'd say. But it's a cool, I really like this style. It's very like unique and sort of crisp and you know, nice and crunchy. So it takes place in It starts off in Kokiri Forest, where Link goes into this temple, the Noir Temple, and finds a rift to another universe, I guess, and basically has to go on an adventure through here. So, the second screen takes you into the temple, where you have to fight new villains such as the Rift Guard, who we've never seen before. And this game is kind of cool in that it features RPG-style battles. So that's a cool thing for paper computer games. This is, similar to like the battles you would have in one of the old Pokemon games. Now that's interesting. That's a clever thing to do with a Zelda game. I think that's really cool. There is lots going on in this game, but that is all I've got to show you for today. I didn't show all the screens of it. There's like still one screen that you haven't seen. So definitely check out the game if you're interested. It is available on the PCG shop. Also, Dark Triforce Bleed is also available on the PCG shop. And I believe... I'm not sure if Zelda Game Where You Do Stuff is available on the PCG shop, but it definitely is available in the PCG Discord, where I played it with JC Tunes. So, yeah, look at all these cool Zelda games. I'm gonna try and make more videos as they come out. Like, if more people make more Zelda PCGs, I'll make more videos about them. But because Tears of the Kingdom is out and, I've been playing it, I've been having lots of fun with Tears of the Kingdom, I thought it would be a really good time to check in and take a look at some of the Zelda games that everyone's been making. So, hope you folks enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments if you did, and otherwise... thanks so much for watching. You folks are the best as always, and peace. See you later.